All right, shalom. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana, and we have been commanded to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so-called Blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, that we are the sheep of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I see we do have people in the chat. We got Just Art and Paint, shalom, sis. We got LB, shalom, Yahal Shemar Al-Thun by Shemi Al-Shai. That's my rib right there. And what we're going to do right now, we did give a shout out to the comments, the people in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and play a quick video, give you guys time to get ready. It'll probably only be one video. I don't have the other videos downloaded. We did a funny skit, but I'm not sure how to play, other videos. I wish I could play it. It is on YouTube. I'll see if maybe I can play that, but if I can't, it'll most likely be the only video we play. So go ahead, get your pens, pad, paper, or drink, whatever you need, to settle down for the class, and we'll be right back with you.
Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat, while I duck police. Own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone me to pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get him away from me.
Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding around with my chrome. Tryna keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool, nah, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2-5, nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them, put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit, get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to brittle out of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always sip on my own, don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone, while I'm riding around with my chrome.
All right, so we back with you. We'll play the other video next time. We just gonna get straight into the class, and today, we're gonna talk about a few things. Number one, the desecration of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native America, like in the news, the media, and all that. Because not only have we been destroyed, physically and spiritually, our image has also been destroyed. Like everywhere you look, the Black man and woman is looked upon as one of the worst things on earth. Like if you look like, and it may not even seem like that to us because we've been, kind of tricked into believing that, certain people in the industry are looked at as good and respected. But if you take this person that has, let's say a rapper has like $1.5 million, and then you take a rich, wealthy, white person that has $1.5 million, that outlook between the two of them are going to be completely different. Like a wealthy, so-called white person can have $1 million just off of a regular job. Most black people and this is the first part of my argument. Black people normally have to have millions of dollars, or that's how we feel by going into like an industry where you're just gonna make music, play basketball, and sweat. So when we're looked at by other people, it's like, well, you guys are only entertainers. How many doctors do they put on the forefront that are millionaires that we get to see and that have a good name out here? Pretty much none. You'll see, athletes, you'll see entertainers, and not all athletes and entertainers are looked at in a bad light from us, are really in a bad light, but they're not valued like somebody else would be in a similar field, somebody from a different nation. And before we get completely into that, if I could get a brother to pull Titus 1:15, because one of our major problems, and I'm going to play a video about it. Let me see, because I believe I sent it to Natasha. One of the things that we should notice is our leadership and who we follow, because we're willing to follow people that say, get that money. We're willing to follow people that say smooth things about, life and, so-called religion, actually God. But if somebody has something strong or austere, which means, strict to say about it, nobody wants to hear it. If we tell a brother in the world, well, you got to stop smashing all these sisters out here. You can't keep turning women into whores. They don't want to hear that. But if I come along and I were to say, like a Christian pastor, the Lord knows that, he's not done with you yet. And that's something that you're going to have to work on. Like, that's what a brother would rather hear, because that's something that you can work on. It's like, shoot, he could work on me forever. I'm going to smash these sisters and turn them into whores. That's pretty much what he's saying. But let me go ahead and get the video. And we have played this last week in class. I had showed this to Officer Matazapa, but I want to play it one more time, because we're in a terrible time right now as far as the way the world is going and what's being said to us. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. If you could bring up that picture for me. It's a pastor by the name of Tim Ross, and I believe he has a mega church. I don't know where he's out of. If anybody wants to look it up, it's Pastor Tim Ross. Where's his church at? I'm interested to know, because I believe it's in a particular place. I think it's probably in Atlanta. I don't know. The way they were moving, I could be wrong. It seemed like Atlanta. But as soon as Kaash gets that picture up, I'm gonna go ahead and play the sound from the video. And you can see here he's with what's his name? It's called TD Jakes. That ain't Creflo Dollar. Who is that next to him? That's Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin. Yeah, that's Kirk Franklin next to him. So let me go ahead and play this. This is what this pastor said. Let me run it back. Okay, it wouldn't mess up. He said, I only reverence one stripper, but I'm going to play it from the beginning. Run that back one more time.
We only reverence one stripper.
We only reverence one stripper just for the class. So I don't know if you guys can hear, since I'm playing audio from a different device.
That's the one that took off glory, to put on humanity, and then get put naked on a cross.
Do you hear how much disrespect he is given to our King that died for us? To take off glory. And he said to get butt naked on the cross. This man he sounds like a pervert and a sexual deviant. This is crazy. How can you fix your mouth to say this about Christ if you actually respect him? I don't think a brother could say that if they actually respect somebody. I wouldn't even say that like on the tier of people in my life. Christ is got to be number one as far as men. If you bring it down, I wouldn't say this about one of my friends in the world. That if one of my friends in the world had did something great for me, I'm not gonna say they stripped themselves butt naked. Like, that's not how you describe somebody you have reverence for. This is crazy.
God, you and me, the only stripper I'm in love with is Jesus.
Called our Savior, our King, a stripper, and said he got butt naked on the cross. We're gonna get into the scriptures exactly what's going on with this man right here, who's a pastor. Anybody find out where he's from? Tim Ross, if y'all could, Salakia. I got to know where he's from. Whichever city he's from needs to run him up out of that city.
So you want to know where?
Just what city that his church is based in, because apparently he has a mega church. If not, the video that I'm looking at, he has a church that has countless amounts of people. Like if they tried to fill most of our buildings, there would be no seats left. It would be standing room only. People will be outside. Just for him to tell them, all these people, that Jesus got butt naked on the cross, and refer to him as the only stripper. Let's continue to hear what he's saying. Where are you from? I mean, where's the church?
Ireland, Texas.
Texas. Oh, y'all got to run him up out of there. I was going to assume Atlanta because I see a lot of wild, no disrespect Atlanta, but I see a lot of wild stuff in ATL. It's an all-out freak off up in ATL from what I hear. So Lockheed.
And he's the one that puts that.
Oh, let me run that back.
In love.
Crazy. He said he's in love with him. Like I do have love and love God because I keep the commandments. That's how you show God you love him. But I don't hear men say they're in love. Like exactly. Kyle said it perfectly. There's a song by T-Pain called "I'm in Love with a Stripper." That's what this is giving me. And normally men don't refer to say that they're in love with a man. Let me play a little bit. Good night. Let me see these comments.
And he's the one that puts that.
And I said, that is ridiculous. I'm gonna play it straight through one more time. We're gonna get to these scriptures because Kanai said it was a little long.
We only reference one stripper. And that's the one that took off glory. The put on humanity. And then get put naked on a cross to die for both you and me. The only stripper I'm in love with is shit.
I don't know if y'all can hear that better. And that's Tim Scott. He's on there with Kirk Franklin. Jesus. Let's see what's going on with these brothers that believe in this. And the only people that can follow a person like this, and I heard General Mahaiman break this down, very well. And when I say very well, it helps somebody like me understand how you could follow somebody like this. And pretty much what this is these people that follow him are just like him. And that's how they can follow somebody like this. Because if you're somebody like us, you're not going to follow somebody who would say things like this, do things like this, refer to the Lord like that. But if I could get Titus 1:15, if a brother could get that for me, Titus 1:15, because that's just the work of Satan. That's undoubtedly the work of Satan. And we're gonna brush into that. And things like this, they're not of the Lord. And we should actually stay away from wholeheartedly. Yeah, if I could.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 15. Not a slacker. Unto the poor, all things are pure.
So unto the pure.
Unto the pure, all things are pure.
So unto the pure, all things are pure. So what that means, like, if something is sacred, like if something is pure, like we believe Christ is pure. We know that he died on the cross. We know that he did it for us. We know that he did it for the children of Israel. We know that he got us back into a covenant with the Most High, or he gives us a chance to go back to a covenant. So that's something that's separated from your average, thing. That's something that's not, a lowly thing. It's pure. It's something that we hold reference to because we're pure.
Right.
People that believe in God and do the works of God. Continue.
But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure.
It's not Christ isn't really pure for him, because this man is defiled and unbelieving, because what man that actually believes in Christ could actually say something like that about their Lord and Savior? What man that knows how God looks at Christ? God said, what would he say about Christ? This is my son. And I'm paraphrasing, but when they try to put Christ on the same plane as like Moses and one of the other prophets, an angel spoke out about it and was like, no, God is saying, this is my son. Like, you don't put my son in the same category. He's up here. Everything else can be under that. It's pure. It's up there. It's where it needs to be. Like, an example would be like how you would refer, like, I know a lot of brothers in the world like that grew up with a good mother. They would never let somebody put a Sexy Red on the same level as their mother. They would never let somebody put, like, for the brothers who grew up with a good father, you wouldn't be able to mention my father in the same breath as Puff Daddy. Like, you can't do that, because they're different. You can't mention Christ and something in a role as lowly as a stripper. Let's continue.
But even their mind and conscience is defiled.
Let's read verse 16.
They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him.
So you can see that he's saying that he's in love with God or Jesus. He's saying that he loves what he did as far as getting on the cross. But what he's doing, you can see his works by what he's saying, how he's acting, that he's actually denying Christ. He's actually denying what God actually stands for. Let's continue to read.
Being abominable.
That is abominable. That's an abomination what that man is up there doing. That's something so serious for you to talk about. And we need to remember how Christ was when they kind of turned it was like a I don't want to call it a tabernacle, but they said a specific name, but we'll just say a temple. And men were doing stuff in there that they weren't supposed to be doing. And Christ came in there with a cat of nine tails, like a whip, and he whipped and scourged them up out of the temple for doing that. You think you can mention him in the same breath as a stripper and say something disrespectful as he got butt naked on the cross? And if he was here in the flesh right now, you wouldn't get your ass whooped out? Like, Christ is an austere man. He's not something or some frilly haired, devil with blonde hair and blue eyes that you could talk about in the same light as a stripper. What this reminds me of is how, like, have y'all seen Deadpool?
I've seen the first one.
Okay, the most recent one, they are saying some outlandish things. They like the stuff that they're saying in this movie teeters the line of just unadulterated, like, homosexuality. And that's what this guy reminds me of, because they're seeing the light that our oppressor is in, how they can joke about weird stuff like that, and they believe that the same relationship that they have with with God is the same relationship that they see heathens across the board have. Let's get that one more time from the top, verse 16. Salaki.
They profess that they know God.
They say that they know God. They go in that church and they garner thousands of people and they get the money. You hear? I got bread in my pocket. I got bread in my pocket. Continue.
But in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient.
You're disobeying God if you're going to have a congregation full of people and you're teaching a different type of Jesus. Like, Jesus did not get butt naked on the cross for you, and so you can call it, and you call him a stripper. Continue.
Unto every good work reprobate.
The works that we do in the ISUPK, it's reprobate to them. When we go out and feed brothers and sisters, when we tell them the right things to do, if we tell a sister that don't put that man on child support, let's get a different type of counsel so everything can be all right. They think that's a reprobate thing because they're about money. If we tell a sister that she's wrong for, coming out her mouth to her man, if we tell a brother that he should be doing certain things and he shouldn't be doing things in the world like smoking weed, this, that, and the fourth. That would be something reprobate to them. That's something that we can't tell them.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one point, like, because in the verse it says that because Christians always say that they know God, right? They believe in God, but it's your works that will really show if you know what to do. Right? And this is a major theme, inside the New Testament. It's the hypocrites of the Pharisees and Sadducees, aka the Christian church. We can't be hypocrites in doing this, right? They can say it all they want, but their works prove it that they don't follow Christ.
Damn right. I appreciate that. And I want to read one more verse on it before we move on. If I could get 2 Corinthians 11 and read 14 through 15. If I could get one of the brothers in the class to read it while Kaash is working the screen. Because what we shouldn't do is follow people like this, because they're the reason why we are in the situation we are now. Now, we take a part in it as well, but our leaders aren't doing anything great. It was brought out. I've heard, brothers in the truth bring this out about how, what was his name? Reverend Jesse Jackson. He was supposed to be one of our leaders. And at first he was saying abortion was wrong. And then when he ran for president, now he's saying pretty much her body, her choice. And one of the things that I've seen, because what I'm seeing is, fake Christian leaders and also like politicians, they remind me a lot of each other. And they're both whores together. Because I saw Hillary Clinton speaking about how, women should have, women's health care and women's rights and this, that, and the fourth. And they disguise what they actually are doing and what they mean with like nice words, with things that seem to be pleasant, with things that seem to be, clean and holy. But really it's just down and disgusting, because what that actually means, and I got you, Ace, I'll get to you in a second. When they say, women's rights, as far as like the body is concerned, what they mean is that you can actually unalive your child. That's what they mean. It doesn't mean that women are going to have health care. Because while all that's being said and done, the Black woman is the one who suffers the most at the hands of doctors that are oppressors. Where are the women's rights when it comes to that? Because they'll trick you and say, like, you should be able to get an abortion. You should be able to take all these chemicals and hormones that mess up your body and tear you up in the long run. But are they actually tackling a problem at hand when it comes to how Black women are pretty much dying in the hospital at an alarming rate at the hands of oppressors when there are doctors? Go ahead, Ace, what you have to say?
What was it? It was
We're going to read 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Yeah, if you could.
2 Corinthians 11, chapter 11, verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So all of that stuff that Satan has put on the earth and that people are doing to everybody else with the untrained eye that doesn't have the right spirit, they might think it's good. To those people who try to say love is love, that's something from Satan that was transformed into light. For all those people who say that we should integrate and be just like our oppressor, that's something that was transformed into light, but it's something satanic. It's something that goes against what God told us to do. Continue.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
So what this verse is saying, therefore, it is no great thing that his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness. So the people who are doing all these evil things in the world, it seems like they're doing very, very good work. It seems like they're doing holy things. They got a big congregation. They're in the church and they're saying things about Christ that the way he's saying it, the way his voice is saying it is smooth. It sounds good. You got people cheering, saying, yes, as he's calling Christ a stripper. I got bread in my pocket. That's nothing to do with Christ dying. Where did that part come from? I don't understand how he could put that in there. But because Satan was able to transform himself into a thing of light, an angel of light, so is his ministers. If we can get Amos 3 and 2, because what we need to do as a people is stay away from people and things like this. Because while all the other nations at this time are getting away with murder, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are suffering dearly. Like I said in one of the last classes, like half of, like, what was it, Harlem or New York is on, Black people are on the eviction list. When you walk through the city, you see nothing but downtrodden homelessness. But yet we're talking about being able to unalive a child in the womb. That's what's most important. While people are starting to lose their homes and be in the streets and have issues with their mental health, we're talking about a man marrying a man and a woman marrying a woman. That's what the main topic of discussion is about. Kamala Harris prancing around on stage, and she has what's her name, Meg Thee Stallion, shaking her cheeks for people's votes. That's what we're on while Black people are suffering. While other people from other countries can come over here and make a living and continue to bring people over here, come in droves. But if a Hispanic tries to come over here back to a country that was stolen from them, then they're told to go back where they're from. They're seen as evil. They're seen as people that are destroying, our place. Not the foreigners that are bringing their drugs, bringing their crime, bringing every disgusting and destitute thing over here. They're seen as good because the ministers of Satan are able to easily make it seem like it's a good thing for them to come over here. Do you know how many East Indians I see in one single place thriving? But when you go to Black neighborhoods, you could tell that's a Black neighborhood based off of how the place looks. I really don't understand. And I do understand, but it's hard for me to come to grips that Black people don't see exactly what's happening right underneath their noses. Making posts about Kamala Harris or making posts about Donald Trump as if some oppressor is going to be able to save you from the same hell that they put you in. Ace, if you can give me Amos 3 and 2. Oh, you got it already? All right, let's do it.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So this is talking about Israel, because that covenant that we made with the Most High, because this is the law class, is saying, you only have I known. And it's Amos 3 and 2, right? You only have I known. Continue.
Of all the families of the earth.
So all the people that are on the earth that are able to do all of these weird, wicked things, the Lord is saying, what?
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
The Lord doesn't know all these other people. The Lord doesn't know as far as how, like, let's break it down in these terms. When you come around and somebody says, man, you don't know me. Like that's what this is kind of like saying. The Lord is saying he knows us. We are going to be punished for all the things that we've done. So we don't need to be on stage comparing Christ to a stripper. We don't need to be on stage talking about, I got bread in my pocket. He's saying this while you have half of New York, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on the eviction list, talking about he's got bread in his pocket. Are you kidding me? Let's go ahead and get that one more time.
You only have known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
That's plain and simple. The Most High is saying that he made a covenant with our forefathers. He only knows us. Therefore, we have to follow those rules. If I could, and I got a couple more things to go over. If I could, let me get Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. If we look on social media, if we look on TV, whatever news stations, we can see how often Black people are disrespected, how often Hispanics and Native Americans are disrespected. You'll see a news clip about, the oppressor's children mocking, our brother, the Native American, with a rain dance. They'll mock him with a rain dance. After that oppressor's forefathers destroyed them. You had something you wanted to say? Are you looking for the actual
Yeah,
Ecclesiastes 7:12? So our brothers, us ourselves, are disgraced in every single platform. When you look at movies, how often do you see a black family man raising his children, being successful and solving problems and saving his neighborhood? Have you ever really seen that too many times in a movie? What's the best shows out there? If somebody can just holler them out, right?
If I make
Concert.
that's why I had such a bad taste for power.
Damn right. That's what I wanted you to say.
I had such a bad taste for power and what they was teaching. Like it was very, very untasteful. And as you go through the whole TV land, there is no TV show where they got Esau being raised by his father and he's turning and him and his mother is plotting and killing his dad. That's crazy right there.
Exactly.
And they let that fly. That's why I think it's important for them to bring Ghost back.
right.
For real, they need to change that narrative. That's what I believe. But hey, you know, what we expect, that's what we expect from that world.
Damn right. And you know, as far as Power is concerned, that Power is just one of the many shows that they show on TV to further press the image of the black man down.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Because they be tripping. They got this one movie, they got this one show where this dude, it's a brother, and he's dressed like a woman. I think it's in Atlanta or something.
Hold
on, young man, cat. What's the name of it? What's the name of that joint?
The deal.
Nah.
no, it involves is it strippers
The
too?
strippers involved in
P Butler? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
P Valley. That's crazy.
I know that.
I knew you know it.
Salakia, the reason why we know this stuff, even though we haven't seen it, because of how good they are at advertising filth and making us the face of it.
Right.
I've never seen one episode of P Valley. I couldn't tell you one character's name, but in my mind is seared that sign that they have for the advertisement that says P Valley. And I know that one of the main characters is a homosexual because of how good at they are advertising evil. And they'll make it seem like a good thing, like it's entertainment, like he said, you know, how Satan was transformed into an angel of light. And, you know, it's not far-fetched, I'm paraphrasing, how his ministers are transformed also. But you got shows like P Valley, you got shows like Power, and Salakia for the noise in the background. It's loud too. That's one of the sirens for the volunteer firemen where we're at, I believe. But all these shows like Power, what's the other shows?
Empire.
Empire.
That was, you know, that scene I really like.
On Empire?
Oh yeah, the one Empire was really, yeah, it was.
What happened?
He took put him in the trash can. You ain't see that?
Salakia, yeah, I did.
We put him in the trash.
Right.
There you go.
And what's the other show? We have other shows that downgrade the black man's image. It's with Raising Canaan. What's another show? BMF. You got what's the other show with Franklin Saint something Saint what's his name? Snowfall. Like and they don't even demonize the government for bringing it into the black community and showing how evil it was, because I don't know what time that happened, but I know there were activists. Like, go ahead.
Shot.
I haven't even seen it. It's ridiculous.
Terrible.
Well, and there's other shows as well.
Tyler Perry production, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
So if I may, you know, isn't these Tyler Perry's productions?
No, some of them are 50 cents. 50 Cent did
I
something.
know 50 did the more gangster ones, but the ones with all that. Yes. Yeah.
It's Salaki, if I could. I want to say, I got to get this out before I forget. And I need brothers to chime in on this because this is an interactive thing. And hold that verse, Ace. I appreciate it. But when we watch those type of things, even like I look at these things. Oh, he can have the chicken. He should be good with the chicken. Why? Even when I see like I can't remember his name because I didn't watch the show. I've only seen clips of it because it'll pop up on my YouTube. That's another thing they're good with. Like you don't see the show, but they'll mess around and they'll share it on YouTube. And dangling it right in front of you. But when you see that and they glorify it, it make you be like, dang, like yo, Franklin, yo, he was a real nigga. Like it'll get in your mind. Like if you don't got the spirit of the Lord, you might decide to start handling situations how evil Franklin handles situations. You might try to get as evil as Ghost or Kanan. And you might be like, yeah, that's how I need to be. You got to be ruthless in this world. Because seeing things like that, if you're not guarded and you don't got the spirit of the Lord, it can destroy you. So what? So if any brothers want, you have something you wanted to say? Go ahead, sir.
Like even with the algorithms or Instagram and all the social media platforms, it's only to show you the specific topic, like only for you to see certain things. Like it's kind of like they'll show like mostly like men going through it with their wives or their girlfriends or whatever they got going on.
Right.
Or they'll show basically like the destruction in a specific community, so that's all you see.
Okay. And that's a heavy point that you bring it out because if you look at all of the stuff that they're putting on social media, and you got the Ecclesiastes 7:12, let's read that real quick. And hold on, one more thing, because I see people are commenting. When we were talking about that pastor calling Jesus a stripper and having all those people in his church, and I said his spirit reminds me of those men that tried to sleep with the angels. Like he said that is a perfect point. And it said Kanai also said it's weird how he's sexualizing Yahushua. He said he's in love with him. And you see all these terrible things on TV. That's why it's so easy to have an image of us like that, because we don't even respect the creator or his son. Banks said they be trusting in power. I had to stop watching because at the end of the day, all of these things that are being shown to us, it degrades us and it empowers the oppressor. And I'll get into that more. Go ahead and read Ecclesiastes, son, or young man Ace.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. Wisdom is a defense.
So wisdom is a defense. Continue.
And money is a defense.
Money isn't everything, it's a defense. So when that fool is up there saying, I got bread in my pocket, I got bread in my pocket, that's something that is so wicked to just be dancing up there and saying after you called Christ a stripper. Because what do you do at a strip club for those who are in the world? You throw that bread. Like the way he did this was so wicked and evil, and he made it sound and feel good to those who have their guard down. Continue. But the excellency.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them.
The wisdom is going to give us life. Whoever has that wisdom and that knowledge is going to give life to us, because we're not going to die spiritually from all the stuff that we see that gets in our spirit. We're not going to cover ourselves with all these leaves of the other trees that come from other doctrines and other nations. Right? I will never refer to my Lord and Savior as a stripper. And I implore those that's in the world, that's in Texas, to spiritually run that man out of that church and don't give him another dime for disrespecting Christ like that. But now back to what we're seeing on social media, because what we need to do is have a defense against that type of stuff. Because when you can degrade something, that's what propaganda is. And black people don't even realize they're participating in it because they think it's all just entertainment. The more you put that on us and dishonor us, the more that our oppressor is raised up in a certain light. The more that these devils are seen as saints, because you can continue to have devils on TV in a certain light with families, they're the hero, Like the movies that I'm seeing now, like even though Deadpool and Wolverine are just fiction, they're not selling drugs. Deadpool and Wolverine, these two Caucasians are saving the world in this movie. They're fighting. Even though there's some weird stuff going on in there. Deadpool was weird, but all in all, the message is that these two oppressors took control, broke the rules, and saved the world. What are they showing black men? They showing us selling drugs. They showing us sleeping with everybody's women. They showing us in dresses. Busta Rhymes was just shaking his ass in a dress on stage.
Like, how are you?
So like, sir, you said he was doing what?
I'm just saying. How are you? That's-
Exactly. Putting women in a position to fall so hard. Because what we're doing right now in this world is desecrating the black man and then putting a woman in a job that she's not meant to be in. That's going to overall destroy her. We were just talking about a couple of weeks ago how they're making movies about how great it is for a woman to be alone and by herself and die alone. Like we were just talking about how they're starting to do that. Is that something honorable to do? Who knows that verse where it says, matter of fact, Salakia. Look, if I have it now. Let me get 2nd Esdras chapter 10 and verse 22. Because just like we've lost our honor, the shield of David has lost its honor, because right now, the shield of David is attributed to a heathen that is unaliving millions of Arabs over in Gaza. That when people see it's on my headband, right? When people see this, the first thing they think about is the small hats over there in the different countries that are taking over land that doesn't belong to them, or the people that they're taking it away from. That is dishonorable. And we're going to get into it. Because right now, this law class is pretty much talking about the situation that we're in, we can be out of if we just follow the laws and statutes and commandments and get leaders that would refer to Christ as a stripper to hell of body. It's 2nd Esdras. I don't know if you have it in there. I need it from the Apocrypha. You got it? The water, if you could.
I just need to figure this out.
Slack.
I just need the verse.
It's 2nd Esdras 10 and 22. Why? Because as we continue to look, and why you finding that if somebody can tell me what actual person out there is defending black people from nonsense that's going on, who's being a defense for us?
Damn right.
The only ones. Because when I see like Captain Tazaria was just defending black people on Kill Stream, which is a show that devils get to watch. And if you put anybody in that seat that's outside of ISUPK, they won't be able to defend us. They properly will fall to the tricks of white supremacy. Like the oppressor will say something to the effect of black people are 13% and make up 50% of the crimes. And I brought this up in a couple of classes before. No, we're not. I won't go too far into the details, but do the research yourself. We're exonerated from a lot of the things we're arrested from. We're the most exonerated. We're arrested too many times for things that we shouldn't be arrested for. Captain Tazaria, Captain Kaplan, Commandant General Yahada, General Muhammad, I've heard them defend black people so many times on facts like these. When you give it to a radio personality like Charlemagne, he's stuttering, doesn't even know what to say when it comes to the tricks of white supremacy. So, Laki, you got 2nd Esdras? We can go ahead and read that.
Just the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 10, verse
22.
22. Psaltery. Salakia, how you say it?
Let me go to it because I don't actually have it pulled up. The water for not just stumbling over it and actually ask. Give me 1 second. And that's Second Ezra 10 and 22. Where are you reading it from? What website? It's in the 1611. Oh no, it's too wild. Some things just have like the King James, or excuse me, the Apocrypha. When it was in the Bible, there's like certain letters that are different, like they have U's instead of E's. So I don't know if it was that. Yeah, it's, I think the P is silent, so sultry.
Our sultry is laid on the ground. Our song is put to silence. Our rejoicing is at an end.
So these are things that we don't even understand, because you do have black people that are singing and shaking their tail on stage. They have songs, but are we singing our song, our actual song, the song of our forefathers? Are we singing something that's triumphant, that lifts us up? Or are we singing tunes that were given to us by the devil? Have you ever heard the clip when Ice Cube was saying that the oppressor, which is the small hat that owns the music industry, pretty much gets artists to say certain things in their music? This is not our song. Like when we're saying all this stuff and we're saying, drill this person, spin the block. Go ahead, you got something?
Yeah, recently we feel like we just came out to it saying they actually paid them more to talk about destructive things for the community.
Say that one more time.
I said Meek Mill came out for an interview. He was saying they actually paid them more to talk about more destructive things.
What benefit is that to us? Don't we see how the more we do what the devil wants us to do, as far as saying certain bad things about us, portraying a certain thing, that it tears us down and lifts them up? And how the Most High spoke about how we will go very low and be the tail and they will be the head. We do all these things that they tell us to do, but it lowers us, it dishonors us, like the seal that we're about to see is dishonor. Go ahead, you got more?
Even with like that goes back to that scripture that say, "What is a man that gains the world but loses his soul?"
Come on,
like, most of them they be like just like they're saying, you sold your soul, so they actually like do little things that compromise your morals, and as soon as you do it, they know they can pay you for anything.
Right.
So it's like even a poor time money for the fall.
Right. The love of money.
Right.
The love of money is the root of all evil. And that's a perfect example of what we're talking about today, and how going against the Most High will continue to lower us, because we think that money can put us in a position of power when really we're having all the power stripped away from us. Like we have all this talent in the world for music. We have all this talent in the world for acting, creating things, and just doing a multitude of amazing things in this world. But it doesn't benefit Black people as a whole. The oppressor is able to benefit off of it increasingly every single year. Let's go ahead and we can start that from the top. Yeah.
Our sultry is laid on the ground. Our song is put to silence. Our rejoicing is at an end. The light of our candlestick is put out.
Our light, how we're supposed to shine, has been put out, hasn't it? We don't see Black men in the light the way it's supposed to be. We see Black men put in the light of thugs. We see Black men put in the light of homosexuals. We see Black men put in the light of deadbeat fathers. We see women in the role of whores, in the role of baby mamas, in the role of recipients of welfare, in the role of just loud trout mouth, detestable things that our women are really not, and they're not supposed to be shown in that light. And it continues a path to continue to destroy us and get us separated from the Most High. Continue.
The ark of our covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are divided. In the name that is called upon us is profane. Our children.
Can you read that part one more time?
The ark of our covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are divided. and the name that is called upon us is almost profane.
Do you see how they call us all these disrespectful things? Like here's what they'll do. You know how I said they put us in a bad light? So they'll show a robbery and they'll show a black person. And then you'll see a whole bunch of comments from devils saying usual suspects, the 13%, monkeys, apes, thugs. They'll flat out have a whole bunch of devils so they don't get flagged, want to put an N, and the rest will just spell it out under. You ever see that? Like the name that they put on us is absolutely disgusting. And we're going to get back to how they call us thieves. But what have they stolen? Continue.
Our children are put to shame. Our priests are burnt. Our Levites are blown into captivity. Our virgins are defiled, and our wives ravished. Our righteous men carried away. Our little ones destroyed. Our young men are brought in bondage.
This is what's talking about what happened to us in all of these captivities. This was prophesied about because we had leaders that were disgusting. We had oppressors that we wanted to be like. We still got more on that, right? If you could.
And our strong men are become weak.
We don't have any real strong men that are standing up for us outside of ISUPK. They don't know how to do it. Like I see some brothers, they do have a little bit of like that warrior spirit, but they're doing it in the wrong way. They're not doing it correctly. We can continue.
And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion.
This is the seal of Zion. This is what we're supposed to be wearing. This is supposed to be under our ownership. King David has a throne and Christ is going to sit on it. Of course, this still is supposed to mean something, but it doesn't mean anything. When I'm pointing to it, I'm pointing to the seal. Like we have all these things that were taken from us, and now we're dishonored. This should be associated with Black people and Hispanic people and Native Americans. This should be associated with Black people, not guns, drugs, and other stuff. And what's up with everything that these oppressors will take a liking to, and they'll try to devalue it? What's wrong? Like if black people like fried chicken, they have an issue with that. They say it's the worst thing. What's the car now that all the young brothers like?
You say the vehicle?
The vehicle. The average brother that would get this car. Exactly. And now what I see is oppressors will make a post that says Chargers half off, and then you'll see a whole bunch of monkeys running for the meme. And it's like, how much lower can y'all try to bring us? How much? We got more on that, don't we? On that verse. If you could.
The seal of Zion hath now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us.
Do you understand what that means? We just spoke about how Meek Mill is told by the small hats to put things in his lyrics and be paid for more. They now wear this sign, which was once ours. It's literally calling them that hate us, the ones that have our sign and how it's lost its dishonor. But you'll get some fool or some fake Israelite that'll try to say it's the star of Molech, that don't even know what the Bible's referring to when it says stars. Stars can refer to somebody that's famous, or it can refer to what scientists call a ball of gas in the sky. Not this. Salakia, sir. Kind of one comment. You asked them to say?
Some of everything.
Comment, sir.
It's like I see a lot of people don't really know what the Star of David really is.
So like, go ahead.
I see a lot of people really don't know that.
Right, the shield of David. Because at the end of the day, we believe anything that the oppressor tells us. And I'm going to read why one more time. Where were we when it said the... No. I'm going to read something else if you can hold that. This says 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. This is why we believe everything that the oppressor tells us. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers, who are his ministers? You have the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans who are leaders, are so-called leaders, who are, you know, the children and do the work of their father, the devil. But also you have the oppressor. It says, therefore, it is no great thing that the ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness. We believe that this oppressor is righteous. We believe that this oppressor has done everything good for us when really they've stolen everything from us. We can finish that verse out because I want to get to something. If you could. The why.
And therefore, shake off thy great heaviness and put away the multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto thee again.
All right, so Laki, we can go ahead and drop it because we got what we need. If somebody can pull Obadiah 1 and 5, because like I've said, the seal is something that was taken from us. We've had our heritage, our masculinity, and even our actual skin was stolen from us. When you had oppressors that were taking and eating black people, when you had oppressors that were making shoes out of black people, but you want to put us on social media and say we are the biggest thieves, when in reality, you stole whole continents and people and heritages. It's said that the ones that have hated us have taken our seal. If somebody got Obadiah, you can go ahead and read that.
You said Obadiah 1 and 5.
Obadiah 1 and 5. You got it? It's kind out of one cup.
Shall I read it?
Yeah, go ahead. You're welcome.
Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 5. If thieves came to thee and robbers by night.
Hold on, slow it down for me, please. So and let me get there with you so I can read it with you. Obadiah 1 and 5. Go ahead, read it, but read it a little bit louder and a little bit slower if you could.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night.
So if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, and I went ahead and got the wrong verse. Go ahead and read it from the top.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night.
Continue.
Would they not have stolen until they had enough?
If somebody came into your house and was stealing something or went into a store, wouldn't they steal until they had enough? Like, you know what? Let me take the TV and the Xbox and let me break out. You know what? Let me run in his garage and get the Scat Pack Charger or the Challenger and let me dip off. But continue. This is how the oppressor is. Because they're not your average everyday thief. They super villains. Continue. Great gatherers.
Great gatherers came to thee. Would they not? Verse 6. How are the things of Esau served out? How are his things sought up? So
what this is saying is, and it's comparing, like Esau is the type of person that will not only steal you from a continent, but he'll put you in slavery and instill your heritage and then give it to somebody else. Esau is the type that will not only put you in slavery after he stole land from the Native Americans, but also steal your children away from you. This is the biggest thief on earth that has ever been recorded in the history of man. But you'll put us on social media apps and the news to further degrade our image for things being stolen at Macy's. But yet you'll steal land from people. You'll literally steal freedom for people. But yet you're the biggest criminals, but you'll put us at, let alone they actually do steal more. They actually do steal more than us from Macy's, from TJ Maxx, from all these places. You know how much money these oppressors steal? If I could get just one more point, because Brett Favre literally stole $5 million something from black people.
What was that? What was that?
It was pretty much Khan. It was he pretty much stole funds that were supposed to be given for what is it called? Welfare.
Yeah,
$5 million, and you worrying about Sharkeisha running out the store with a handful of Nike tracksuits. And Brett, is it Brett Favre? Am I tripping?
Yeah, no, that's right.
He stole $5 million from poor people. Go ahead.
And
Select.
since we're on top of stealing, like talking about how much they steal land, the Queen of England, they own 1/3 of the earth. Like just land period.
In places that they can't even go without sunblock. You still in all these places that you're not even genetically able to handle. Like what? Like that's why the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because you can turn us into the biggest criminal, devalue us, take the actual shield of David, give it to another people, and then make us look like the biggest criminals on earth. That's why that verse says that Satan was transformed into an angel of light, and his ministers are also. They look like they're doing a ton of great things. They'll even steal the history from you and put themselves in the position. They stole the image of Christ, the angels, but we're the criminals. But we're the thieves on earth. No, there is not a being on this earth that has stolen more and has done more atrocities on earth and has put Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans through hell. If I could, can I get John 10 and 11? Because like I was saying earlier, they even learn how to steal masculinity from black men. Y'all remember a while ago, I think it was around 2016, 2017, they were putting terms out there like toxic masculinity. Yeah. That's in order to trick you out of your position and steal masculinity from you, because
What's the verse in chapter?
it's John 10 and 11. Like the black man needs to keep masculinity. We don't need to be walking around like Lil Uzi Vert, shaking our hips and gyrating with purses. Have y'all seen Lil Uzi Vert? If you could, can you go to that picture where he's looking like somebody from the Ginyu Force? Yes. Yeah. He's looking like a gay Ginyu Force member. Talking about, y'all like my outfit? Like, how can we as a nation of people have warriors and soldiers if that's what they want, if that's what we're gonna let them reduce us to? You get what I'm saying? Like, how on earth can we be our own nation? How on earth can other nations take us seriously if we continue to let the oppressor make us the face of everything that's wrong with the earth? You see how like the oppressor now that likes Trump, when they say Biden supporters, they're talking about us. Like black people are considered the Biden supporters. They consider us everything wrong with the country, when really the liberals just good at tricking, the world into thinking that we're the face of homosexuality, that we're the face of, liberalism, and all while destroying us and getting us to unalive our children. I see you, Ernest is looking up that Lil Uzi Vert. Is it hard to look up?
Nah, I just can't make it big.
Oh, okay.
So nobody's gonna be able to see it.
All right, no sweat. We can drop it. But yeah, a young man Ace, if you can read John 10 and 11.
John chapter 10, verse 11.
Yeah.
This is the Lord speaking. I am good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
That's what Christ did for us. He gave his life for the sheep. That should be the standard of black men. We should give our lives for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. we shouldn't be like every single selfish man that we see on TV. Like we see like we were talking about earlier, people like the characters from these shows, like James St. Patrick, who's selling drugs and destroying the black community. Go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead. Let's get Lil Uzi Vert up on the screen so we can see what black men should look like. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this. Young man, hey, you know you would never walk in my house like that, right? We know that. And one thing that I gotta pride my son on, sometimes I gotta tell him to hold his tongue, but the Bible teaches us to raise our children up how we want them to follow the Most High, like the scriptures say. And I remember one time there were some people on Roblox talking some wild mess, and my son, was like, "Hey man, gay is wrong," and my son got the ban for 7 days. It was 7 days. It was 7 days. That's the most noble ban you can get, because you got brothers, and I'm brothers, on Call of Duty getting chat bans for dropping certain words. Because you can catch a chat ban for something that's not noble, for talking spicy. You can say something spicy, but it's still not wrong, because how many years were we called the N-word, but there was no chat ban? Like, you got all these games that predate, but you can defile and disrespect the black man for literally 15 years of online gaming. But as soon as the protected class comes out and you can start reaching to them, it's over. You get in the chat, man. And I don't want to hear it unless you read it. I don't want no comments from it, because I don't know what you're about to say. It's a lot. If I could, let me get First Esdras 3 and 12. Because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, men and women, the plot twist of this story of us being degraded is we are supposed to be the most regarded people on earth. Let me, if I could, can I get the verse that says fine gold? He's going to make a man like fine gold. And he's talking about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When it says fine gold, matter of fact, I'll get it. Make a man fine gold. And he's talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, because right now, they don't see us as fine gold. If I can get y'all brothers input, how do you think they view us? Ace, can you hand them the mic? How do you think the world views us?
I think the world views us. I think the world views us like Native American, Hispanics, is
Perfect.
jail words. Nothing short of nothing short.
That was perfectly put, because in Deuteronomy it said we will be called a byword. Like literally, we are called the scum of the earth. Like, how did Donald Trump refer to Haiti? He called it a SHIT whole country. Like, that's scum of the earth. Like, when you go to other countries, y'all see, because we need to use social media to peer into how these devils' activity really is. Y'all see I Show Speed, right? Y'all ever see when he goes to different countries? And he's a weirdo.
Very weird.
But do you see how he goes to other countries, and then you'll see the little white, or Salaki, you'll see the little devils just calling them the N-word over and over. They don't even speak English, but they know to call him the N-word when he walks past. And I can tell he doesn't like it, but he can't respond how he wants to. He can't do what he wants to, because he's a personality that relies on social media for money. That's how you know you're a slave. That's how you know if you can't defend yourself, if you're not even allowed to stand up for yourself at the risk of losing money. I've even seen on social media where basketball players that play in China, the Moabites are over there, nigga, with cat, rat, and dog on their breath, calling us the N-word. Go ahead.
That goes back to that same thing with them being able to do anything for money. Like they willing to compromise every moral they have.
Absolutely.
Like just like just like most of our black people that get into like a place of power or like a place where they can actually make a change, they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing because they have offered them a certain amount of money that they can't refuse. Well, they can actually refuse, but they choose not to.
Right. And you're absolutely perfectly highlighting the point that we brought up earlier when I was saying that the ISUPK is the only ones that are really standing up for black people. What happened when Colin Kaepernick took a knee? Jay-Z was able to go ahead and get it started back up with that. I literally kind of stopped watching NFL. Like, I was a Ravens fan, but I don't watch football like that no more. I still wear the gear because if I got like a Nike if I got on something like a Nike team joint on and it's an official team joint and it matches with my phones, I'm gonna wear it. But I'm not watching the games. I'm not going to the games. I'm not betting on sports because it really doesn't move me like that. I'm not excited to see a whole bunch of men who have the power as far as money is concerned just do nothing and be a whole bunch of sweaty slaves running back and forth on a field. I'm just not into it anymore. Go ahead.
It's crazy because me and Young Man Kev, we had seen this video. It's like an old video of these Israelites. They was from ISUPK and they was on Jerry. I'm like, dang, never seen this.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. I had never got this message.
Right. I've never seen that episode, and I was watching Jerry Springer faithfully as a child. I wanted to see them fight.
Exactly. And we watched that whole joint, and it was funny, and they was really talking all the same game.
Right.
It was all
damn right. And that lets you know that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have always had the opportunity in these modern times to hear the truth, but we would rather listen to some man talk about how Jesus is a stripper. Like, that's what we would rather hear. You missed that part of the class, didn't you? But you saw it though, right? It's like social media really helps open our eyes and get to see a whole bunch of stuff because that algorithm is showing me stuff from point A to the end of the alphabet. It's showing me every single thing. And it's like, wow, I can really see how, kids growing up in this world with these phones can be destroyed if they don't got somebody guiding them. Yeah, all the weird stuff that's on YouTube and social media is further to destroy us in the image of how everybody sees us. Matter of fact, let me get that. That's something I should have brought up. Salakia. Before we get to and I had if somebody could hold where were we? First Ezra 3 and 12. Let me go ahead and get that.
Verse 12. Third rule, women are strongest, but above all things, true is very.
So why am I reading that? Because the scripture, they'll say that the Bible is misogynistic and they'll lie on the Bible and say all of these wrong things about the Bible. But I was just saying how Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, men or women, are degraded in the earth. They take Sexy Red and they put her on a pedestal to destroy us and lift them up. So Becky gets to look like a glowing thing. They teach our women things about what's that movement? The feminist movement. They teach our women the feminist movement, and that woman gonna run her mouth. But really, the woman is one of the strongest things. One of the strongest things. Let me get another verse. Deuteronomy 25, 28 and 56. And this is showing how the woman is supposed to be, but what she would turn into. This is, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56. Because this is the plot twist to the story that we're in. The real plot twist is they are the vessels for destruction. We are supposed to be the vessels of honor, even though we've been destroyed. Moving away from these laws, statutes, and commandments puts all this dirt on us, puts all this disgustingness on us. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 20.
Here, get the mic first.
Deuteronomy, verse, what was
28 and 56.
chapter 28, verse 6. Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you.
So the tender and delicate woman among you. Is that how women are portrayed now? Don't you see in the world how women are starting to lift weights and look like Batista now? Does that look tender and delicate? Right? Like, aren't we seeing that? I'm seeing women with traps to their ears. I'm seeing women with 20-inch pythons now. That's what, right? Am I tripping? That's what we're seeing. It's disgusting. It's like they are trying to turn women so masculine. But the Bible is saying the tender and delicate woman among you is describing how the woman is supposed to be, her natural state. Go ahead.
Or you also see the trait of saying
They don't need a man.
they do anything by themselves. But
Right.
they also have another one saying they want to be in the soft girl. It's like a contradiction.
Right, yeah. Right. You got it going back and forth. Like, one thing I saw, because I'm noticing that women are saying they don't need a man. Okay, that's fine. But I saw something where there was this sister that was I think she was taking out the trash, or she was doing something. She goes to the curb. A white car pulls up. She looks, the car stops, and she darts back and fumbles to get in her house. And then she's scared, like she's about to get abducted. And then her brother hops out the car, puts the Amazon package on her porch and takes a picture of it and leaves. Do you think she would have that fear of being abducted? And she could have a man, but that man ain't doing his job. If she's running to the house, if she has a man that can protect her in that house, she's not running like she almost broke the damn key off in the door. What women and men do need each other no matter what anybody says. How else do we get children on the earth? How else does the roles fit correctly and we be good? Like, one of the greatest times in my life was when I worked and my ribs stayed at home and every bill was taken care of. The house was on point. The food was cooked, but then the devil came in and wrongfully terminated me. Now we both got to have a job. Now I take a $3 pay cut. Now my rib got to go back out into the world. Now my son isn't getting homeschooled. This devil is literally breaking up the black family to make sure that we don't have succession in this world, to make sure that they can rid us. The world is what's raising our children. The world is teaching our young girls that men ain't SHIT and teaching our young boys that women ain't SHIT. But the scriptures say, you were reading that, right, Ace? The tender and delicate woman among you. Go ahead, finish reading. Start from the top, please. And if you got stuff on your hands, be careful with the scriptures.
Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set the soul of her foot upon the ground.
Delicateness and tenderness. So let me reach into this real quick. It says, would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicate and tenderness. Do you know how soft girl era that is? Like that. But now you got the oppressor that is literally showing our women that they should take off their shoes and walk around barefooted in the mud until their toes are spreading like frogs' feet. Y'all ever see that? Like, this oppressor is miseducating us in every single facet, even the anatomy of the human body. We have been wearing shoes for thousands of years. For thousands of years. Go ahead.
And since we're on this topic, I also heard women say that she's going to be masculine until a man can put her in her feminine state.
Right. Well, what man is going to want to come around another man and share a relationship? And I don't want no loud mouth woman that's acting like a man. You see all these podcasts now, and I saw one in particular. It was this sister that had on like a Kango hat or something, and she was on this brother's podcast, and she would just not be quiet on that man's podcast. She kept talking and how she was an alpha and this, that, and the fourth. Sisters don't gotta be an alpha. It's that in the script, and I believe in the scriptures, it pretty much summarizes and says how a woman with sweetness can get a man to do what she wants. Like if a woman just said, can you do this, please? And was sweet about it, that man gonna jump up and do that joint. Now, oh my God, I can't believe you playing Madden again. Whoop-de-whoop. Oh my God. Like that's not, that man is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna get away from you and that mouth. That's what's gonna happen. And on the other turn, men got to start doing what they're supposed to do in the household, because I'll never be on the side of just, men are right, women are wrong. Because at the end of the day, I can't do the war of the sexes because that don't benefit us. If I see the woman doing something wrong, say, hey, sister, you doing this wrong. If I see the man doing something wrong, hey, you doing something wrong. And I'll also never say that men and women are partners and equals. That man is the head of that household. The man is the head of that woman. And somebody that's supposed to be tender and delicate, they can't lead me, whether they think they're an alpha or not. I'm going to finish that verse out. It says, the tender, you want to go ahead and finish it out?
It's up to you.
Go ahead, read it.
Okay. From the top.
Yes. Because this is talking about how the woman is supposed to be. Because right now, women are ratchet. Right now, the brothers are literally, sassy, feminine, and evil at the same time. How can you be a brother that's literally feminine and you got a Glock with a switch on it? Your emotions are gonna run wild. You're gonna literally unalive everybody on the block with bad aim. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness, is that
Yes.
and tenderness.
Right. So this is showing you how the woman was once upon a time and how she's supposed to be till this day. Continue.
Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her
Bosom.
bosom.
So this is showing how that woman that's sleeping with that man is going to be evil towards him. We see a lot of things. I keep bringing up stories. I saw this one thing where this brother broke down because his sister, she lied to this brother and said that the baby that was in her stomach died from the cord being wrapped around the neck. And he broke down. Like, he was crying like, I think I'm gonna hate you for the rest of my life for this. You knew I wanted a child. Just continue to read. What are you about to say? Thank you. Continue.
And towards her son, and towards her daughter.
These women have gone astray, but the plot twist is they're supposed to be feminine. They're supposed to be soft. They're supposed to be able to get their man to do righteously whatever they need that man to do. And women aren't supposed to be power hungry. They're not supposed to just search for a man that's over 6 feet with $20,000 in the bank that makes $100,000 a year. That's not what this is about. Because at any given time, the regular walls of society can fall down and money won't matter. Righteousness, morality, and a skill set is what's going to matter. If I could, let me see, Salakia, because we about to wrap it up. Let me get, for the men, if I could get Isaiah 13 and 12, because right now, you see black men are devalued. You know, they put us on TV as James St. Patrick. They put us on TV as Franklin, Canaan. BMF is glorified. But a man that would really go out there and give his life for his community, somebody that would feed homeless people, that would clothe homeless people, that would have enough courage to go out into Harlem and tell brothers and sisters the right thing to do, even when they're being told that if they don't leave, they'll be shot. That's the type of man that we're supposed to be and supposed to be shown as. It's in Isaiah 13 and 12. That's the type of man that we're supposed to be, something that is sought after. Like, brothers nowadays, they want a watch on their wrist. They want gold in their mouth. They want something that makes them feel like they are, a king. They want to feel like they have wealth. They don't want to just be seen as some lowly drug dealer. They really want the reward that comes from drug dealing, which is money. Really, it's death, but they believe that drug dealing is going to get them money. That's why they do it. They're willing to destroy everything. They want to be seen as it. But go ahead, let's read the scriptures of what we will eventually become
Isaiah,
prayerfully in our lifetime. If not, so be it. But go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than
The golden wedge as the Ophir,
oh,
the water. So the Lord, even though we've been devalued, he's going to make us as the fine gold. Even though, and I'll end it with one more. Let me get if I could. It's the one where it says 7 women will come into one man. Say it again.
Isaiah 4:1.
Isaiah, oh, gosh, remember that.
I got right from it.
Let's get, if you could read it for me. Wow.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
There's brothers out here that can't get one woman because they a bus driver and they getting disrespected, when really that's better than tearing your neighborhood apart. That's a good thing. There's a sister out there right now that is disrespecting a bus driver that's trying to get her number, and she's riding the bus. Sister, you're on the bus with him driving it. How? Yeah, you feel me? Like, y'all both in the same place. How are you degrading him?
So he could probably give her free bus trips.
You feel me? Benefits. Exactly. But we want to devalue a brother. But I bet you with that mentality, that's the type of mindset that would date the B-boy of the hood. Somebody that's respected for unaliving their own. Somebody who has a pocket full of dirty money. Continue? Or was that?
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel.
What they want from us now?
Money.
They want money from us now. But in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man and say, look, I bring my own clothes. I bring my own food. Continue.
Only let us be called by thy name.
Let us get that name. Let us be called as your husband. Let us be under your name. Let us be called as your wives. Let people know that you are our husband. Not this whole thing where, a brother has to, have all these things that the sister don't even got. Not something to where the only thing valuable about a man is money. The Lord is going to make sisters tender and delicate and the example of what every woman on earth should be. And he's going to do that more for the man as well, to where we're seen as fine gold. And I believe I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. If we don't got any questions, you
Right. I was gonna say that. Because women, they like all the time they want us to be the breadwinner and stuff like that.
right.
But a lot of them say there are Proverbs 31 women, but in Proverbs 31, God says that they're the ones going to be out making money. You know what I mean? Going out there, being a merchant, you know what I mean, and doing business and buying land for us. And we come home and we sit and we enjoy what they do.
Right.
That's what the Bible
Oh,
says.
okay. Good night.
Don't hearing you say that part just now. That remind you of how the king really is like.
It does with the lions.
Go out and kill
Right.
and hunt, and then the king come back and just sit there and eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I used to watch. I don't know if y'all heard of the Yaki, the Yakai Awakens. The one who's doing a herbalist and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of it.
But he was also just saying like how he was kind of like tying in the animal kingdom to the human aspect of life.
Okay.
Because it kind of is the same thing, just based off how they operate in the system.
Right.
You feel what I mean? Like we are a system when we are together. You feel what I mean?
Right.
I'm the head, you the head. You know
Right.
what I mean? You keep everything stable. You feel what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's crazy though. That he's not saying that like that.
And not for brothers to just, not do anything, but let's say a brother is doing the work of the Lord and a sister is, making things, selling them this, that, and the fourth, helping out. that would help that brother do more for his community than having to work and do a whole bunch of other stuff and deal with some other stuff. Was there any other questions? All right, Most High in Christ. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the class over to you. Give me 1 second. Slocky, I'm trying to get the controller up. Whenever you want, you can just say it, and I'll go ahead and
This is the ISPPK security announcements, rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and set themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they're to seek counsel from the heads, tithes, which is the commandment. Numbers 18 to 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, Ma'aseh, which means a tenth in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund is a free offering for the priest, non-mandatory. Whatever amount you like to give. The upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of the Blowing, no, the Feast of Tabernacles. So that starts October 16th through the 24th. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you can start wearing black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, Elijah, as you can stand. Man of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathon.
Yazmatah, hands down. Sorry, turn and face the sisters. Sisters, Elijah, which means to stand. Man of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak, Shalom,
Yahweh Shamar Alathon by Shem Yahshua.
Yazmatah, Flat Smith.